Hey there viewers, it's Charlie. I'm back again with another Transformers review. And today's review is going to be on Agent of Prime's Heatwave. Now, this is a figure that I was kind of excited for when it was first shown because, well, like with Chase, it's a Generation style rescue bot. So, yeah, it's got all the modern articulation, it's got more than one step. So, yeah, if you grew up on rescue bots, then well, you can buy one of the Transformers that you grew up with. That's pretty cool. And hey, Chase was pretty good, so what about this guy? Well, starting off, let's look at the box. So, of course, got the standard Agent of Prime style of packaging. So, here we got a picture of Heatwave in both modes. Got his name right there, Rescue Bot Heatwave. Takes 29 steps to transform him. Here we just have a picture of Heatwave with both weapons. Well, I say weapons, they're more tools, because, of course, in Rescue Bots, they don't really fight anyone. They just help people out, so they're more tools. But anyway, this side we got some of the Primes, including Megatronus, who's an awesome figure. And we've got Star Convoy here, which, not gonna lie, I'm kind of considering getting, but Anyway, we've got Heatwave in both modes. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the box. So, and well, for the figure itself, yeah, it's the bulkhead mold. And even when we first saw pictures, people like, fairly quickly found out that, yeah, it's pretty much a bulkhead retool. Which, honestly, that's not a bad thing. Like, retools can be done well, but I think the mold has degraded a bit, which we'll see soon, but well, let's start off with a overall look at the figure. So, the front is absolutely Heatwave. There's no denying that. Because, of course, we have these three headlights, I guess, and a little bumper. Because, of course, in the original figure, like, you'd move the ladder. I'm pretty sure you'd move it, like, up, and these would come on and be his arms. So, yeah, the front is definitely Heatwave's fire truck mode. The back, however, is kind of a crap show. So, yeah, that's not really pretty. Because we still have the port here from bulkheads like Tarp, which he doesn't come with. We just have this ladder here, which is just attached onto the thighs here. We still have these little ports here for bulkhead's weapons. Yeah, not really pretty around the back. Although, I think my biggest complaint is, as I said, the ladder attaches onto here. It could have very easily attached onto here. So, yeah. I know they probably just wanted to have it, like, angle like this, as per the original toy in the show, but honestly, this just means you have to take it off for transformation, so, yeah, a bit of parts forming. So, yeah, it looks great around the front, but around the back, it starts to fall apart. Like, yikes. But, of course, we still have the visible feet, but Bulkhead also had that, so, yeah. But we do have quite a bit of retooling as well, because, like, the extra ties that Bulkhead had, we don't have that here now. Of course, this whole front section's been retooled. I think these gas canisters are the same, though. The wheels are the same. This section's the same. This whole bit's the same. But still, pretty heavily retooled. And of course, the underneath. So, yeah. So, overall, this is a this is one of those Ultimos that really only looks good from the front. Kind of like Studio Series Resident Beast Prime. But anyway, let's throw in the accessories. First one being the ladder. So yeah, this is a separate piece, so I fully expect to see this guy on eBay missing this ladder piece in like 5 years' time. So yeah. Now, I'm sure you can throw in bulkhead tarpaulin if you want to, but And the way that this attaches is we got these little notches here that slide into these bits on the thighs. And then we have these little bits here that the feet go into. And there you go. So yeah, a bit of parts forming, unfortunately. At least it's accessory parts forming, but still. But anyway, for the other accessories, well, we got some of his tools. So we got this axe here. I've got this water cannon. I don't think it's a gun because, again, he's a rescue bot. So this is a water cannon. And of course, we've got the little ports here for blast effects. So quickly getting my box of blast effects out. So yeah, we can plug in some blast effects. And yes, I chose some of the blue ones to make it look like water. So we got that going on. But anyway, to plug these in, the instructions say to plug them into the ladder, which, I mean, sure, but then it's angling downwards, and that kind of looks awkward. So what I prefer to do, I plug them into here. So now that they're more straightforward, like so. And the axe plugs on kind of awkwardly, like there's no port to plug it on to this bit, unless you want to plug it in like this. And that's kind of weird. So you just have to plug it in with the blade facing upwards. There we go. So yeah, that kind of looks awkward. But yeah, keep in mind, the instructions want you to plug these onto the ladder, and that just looks weird. But hey, that's weapon storage, or accessory storage in this case. So yeah. And now for comparison, here he is with fellow rescue bot Chase, so we can see how the team is shaping up. And I do hope that we get the other rescue bots, like, for example, Boulder. Maybe we can get like an Armada Scavenger retool out of that. Blades, I'm not sure, but maybe if they do like G1 blades, then they can also do rescue bots blades from that. I don't know. But yeah, these guys do look pretty good together. Here is a fellow fire truck bot, Inferno. And honestly, yeah, these guys do look pretty good together. And finally, here he is with the previous use of the molds. So here he is with Breakdown. So you can see how much they've retooled. Namely, the front here. Of course, the removal of the tarpaulin. Honestly, I think the robot mode has more retooling, but yeah, there you go. And finally, here is the original toy from 2011. Oh my god, time is moving by way too quickly. But we can see, yeah, this is kind of a more like serious version of that toy. I mean, it's got an extra set of wheels, so it's like the ladder seems to be a bit more like downwards, but honestly, I think I kind of prefer the original toy. Maybe it's just because that's like a simple one-step figure. Maybe if this was like a full-on new mold, I don't know. But they did get the front part spot on. I'll give them that. That is 1-to-1. The back is kind of but the front is absolutely spot on. I'll give them that. So what about the robot mode? Well, of course, the transformation on this is pretty much exactly the same as Bulkheads, although there is some differences, but we'll get there soon. So the transformation on this guy is pretty much exactly like how Bulkhead and Breakdown transform, with one difference, of course, there'd be no spare wheels here. And of course, we have to take off this ladder. So yes, parts farming. Oh boy, I cannot wait to see how many of these I'm going to lose this ladder in a couple of years' time. But anyway, to start off, I'm just going to disconnect the front from the back. Like so. And pretty much just according all this out. Split legs. Try and open up the feet. Now, one trick I usually do to get the heels out is have it just fully plugged in, and then when you move the feet out, that normally keeps the heel in place. And then when you move the feet forward, that unpacks the heel as well. So there we go. Next, unpack the gas canisters from the thighs here. Open up the back of the leg. Spin around the gas canister, and that just hides into the leg. And even now, I still think that that's a really clever trick, and I'd never see like anyone else do this. It's only just this mold. Like, this is such a masterpiece-esque kind of trick. Seriously. That's something that Masterpiece would do. But anyway, this little red piece is just going to move down as we get the legs all done. So that's the legs and waist all done. And now the upper half, which I am not looking forward to. So this top half, this little back section is going to move up. The front, we try and move the cab open, which on this version is really bloody tight. Ah, fuck. Why is that so tight in this version? I have no idea why. Anyway, just gonna get the arms down. And another thing I hate on this version, pushing this down is now really hard. Like on Breakdown and Bulkhead, this is perfectly fine. You can just push this down with no issue. But on this version, see how it's fighting me? I have no idea why it's like that now. So, yeah. This might break after a few transformations. Anyway, after pushing that in, I'm going to push the head up. Of course, we split the shoulders. And knees will just tab into the sides here. There we go. Get the camera. Just get the camera up. And then finally, just going to straighten this out. Try and get this. Pretty much just try and get the slot into here. And we're nearly done. All we have to do now is get the ladder back. Get this little red peg out. And I don't remember the correct orientation if it's like this or if it's like this. So just let me quickly check the box I threw earlier. Okay, so you're meant to have it. So these little bits are sticking out. So we just plug this into where the tarpaulin would plug into and Bulkhead and Breakdown. And you see these little bits will nestle into here. There we go. So here we have Heatwave. in robot mode. And yeah, it's pretty much the same transformation as Bulkhead, although a couple of things seem to have changed, and I'm not talking about the removal of the little, I guess, faux wheels. A couple of things have gone a bit tighter for some reason. Namely, moving the cab up to get the arms out, and moving the little panel down. Why? I have no idea. And plus, some other things have also gotten a bit tighter, namely the elbows, which we'll talk about later. But anyway, looking at the robot mode by itself, honestly, at a first glance, it actually looks pretty nice. Sure, it kind of looks like he's meant to have 4 arms because what would form his arms on the original toy and in the show, they just stay there and you have these little faux headlights on the 4 arms, but me, I just think that's funny. Anyway, so yeah, turning the figure around. Of course, we still have the ladder on the back, and we have these ports if you still want to plug in the weapons for storage, or in the legs if you want that. So there you go. Looking at the head, that's actually a pretty good representation of Heatwave's head. Plus, we've got light piping. Although I'm not sure if I can show it that well. Yeah, I'm not really showing it that well, unfortunately. But he does have light piping, as you can see here. So yeah, Transformers still do have light piping occasionally, which is really nice. And of course, giving him his accessories. So of course, he can hold his fire axe. Of course, not for attacking anyone. This is for, like, breaking down doors to save people. Same thing with the water cannon. This is for, well, blasting down fires. So, I mean, if he wanted to, he could use these to attack Decepticons with. Like, this could be used as a melee weapon. This could be used as a gun. But for me, these are going to be rescue tools. Just like with Chase's Claw. Because he's a rescue bot. He's not meant to be fighting. He's meant to be helping people. So, yeah. And honestly, these weapons look pretty good on him. And of course, we can bring back blast effects, so he can shoot water at someone's fire. Like, I don't know, maybe he's having Inferno or something. They can be best buds or something. And of course, we've got ports in the feet for weaponizers. Or, this is just speculation right now, when Nexus Prime comes out, maybe he'll have some integration with Heatwave, because the original Nexus Prime was composed of some figures. One of them was called Heatwave. But that is just speculation. I might be entirely wrong, you never know. But that would be a pretty cool idea, a pretty cool throwback, you know. But anyway, I suppose I should talk about some of the issues with this figure. Namely, well, if I bring in Breakdown quickly, it's not the comparison section yet, but if I bring in Breakdown, you see his elbows? Yeah, they move with no issue. Well, let's look at this guy's elbows. No, it's not the articulation section yet, but I feel like I have to talk about this. You hear that? He's now thump into place for whatever reason. Like, you can still kind of move it, but they have, like, locking places now for whatever reason. So it's either all the way up like that, a bit down, like so, or all the way down. And that's kind of weird, because Bulkhead and Breakdown never had that weird thumping place with their elbows. So why it's here on Heatwave, I have no idea. Now, I've also heard complaints, mainly from the Toy Guys video, on the thighs here. Namely, like, if I bring in breakdown again, you can, like, move the waist and, like, move these and there's no issue. But if you do that on Heatwave, because these have been retooled, then there's, like, collision problems. Yeah, I heard that from that Toy Guys video on this guy. But, yeah. But honestly, I think my biggest complaint just has to be from the transformation. Because I had my finger transforming this guy for the first time, and seriously, those bits were just so tight. But anyway, let's just put it with Chase. And honestly, these guys look pretty good together. Are they to scale? I don't know. I never watched the show. I was more of a Thomas kid growing up, but still, this has me excited for a potential, like, Boulder or Blades or maybe Quick Shadow. Maybe. So, yeah. Next up, here he is with Inferno. Maybe these guys could team up to fight fires together. So, there we go. And finally, here he is with Breakdown. So we can see how much retooling that they've done in robot mode. And honestly, I can see a lot. Like, the heads, obviously, like Bulkhead, Breakdown, and Heatwave all have new heads. The chest has been entirely redone. The shoulders look redone. Forearms, I don't know. But yeah, the forearms have been redone because we've got these little bits added onto the forearms. The thighs have been redone because we've got those bits added on that are added to hook onto. The legs look to be the same. So I'm going to say that everything from the waist up is new, aside from the little back bit that holds the tarpaulin / ladder. So yeah, pretty much nearly everything from the waist up is new. So yeah, pretty heavy retool there. And I didn't have his head up all the way. Damn it. But anyway. And finally, here is the original Heatwave toy. You know, the one that you probably played with as a kid back in the day. And, yeah. I mean, of course, the original toy, like, that head was not cartoon accurate. This one does have a cartoon accurate head, but still, it's pretty cool to see, like, Rescue Bot toys getting full-on articulated figures. So, yeah. And you can see what I mean, where these pretty much form the hands for the original toy. So, to see them just being, like, the chest is kind of funny on the new figure. But yeah, I honestly do like how this looks in robot modes. Yeah, the vehicle mode was kind of a crap show. The new toy, like, the original toy is definitely better in vehicle mode, but I feel this is better in robot modes. So, yeah. So, that's pretty much all I've got to say about this guy. Complaints? Well, yeah, the vehicle mode's not the greatest. Like, seriously. Had they done a bit more retooling around the back, it probably would have looked a lot better, and maybe found a way to have this stay on instead of having to take it off of the transformation. But my biggest complaint has to be the transformation itself, because holy shit, a lot of stuff is just so tight now. Like, trying to open this up and trying to push the little panel down for the transformation. Like, seriously, why is that so tight now? Plus, I don't like how the elbows are really tight now. Like, you still move them, but they're click into place now. Like, I forgot to show the articulation. Pretty much the same as Bulkhead and Breakdowns, you know. Head, waist, the arms, pretty much all. It's pretty much the same as Breakdown and Bulkhead, so you know. But anyway, Yeah, my complaints are pretty much vehicle mode is pretty ugly looking from the back. Transformation is a huge pain in the arse, and yeah, the elbows clicking is kind of awkward. But honestly, would I recommend this? Well, if you don't mind the transformation now being kind of fiddly to do with how tight it is, then honestly, it's not really that bad in robot mode. Like, if you grew up on Rescue Bots, then honestly, this is not that bad a purchase, although I do feel his wave mate, who we will look at next time, is a lot better. But honestly, I still do quite like this guy. I just feel his wave mate is a lot better. But yeah. So, this has been my review on Age of the Prime's Heatwave, and this is Charlie Young, signing off.